G'day guys, thank you for tuning in again. Man, it is seriously heated up in Australia. It's like 38 degrees tomorrow. For any American viewers, that's like 100 Fahrenheit or something, so I'm glad to be inside. Now, where's inside? We are in a radio studio. Look at this. So we're located at 3AW, which is in Melbourne, in the big, illustrious media house on the top level there. And we do a weekly motoring show from here called CarAdvice, and it's hosted by Steve Price. Now, you may know Steve Price from things like Gaff 1 or Gaff 2, but he loves his cars and has the #1 rated show in this slot. And it airs across Australia, along with regional stations as well. So we absolutely love being on it, because it gives us a chance to be in touch with our readers and have a chat to them on air as well. So I thought I'd walk you through how all this works. So you can see down here that you've got a full deck. Now, I'm not an audio expert, but I can tell you that all of this stuff does something. Basically, Steve will normally sit in this seat, but because he's away this week, I'm in charge of the deck here. And basically, I've got comms with 2GB, where the rest of the show is hosted, and this week's host, Warren Moore, is going to be running it. Also, my colleague Trent Nikolic is in Sydney as well, so he will be based there. Now, we've got some screens in front of me. Over here, we have callers. Over here we have levels and also connecting the two studios. We've also got phones as well, so if people want to call in, but because it's hosted out of Sydney, they're not going to be coming in on this line. We've also got the laptop here. This basically allows me to look up stories and stuff while we're on air. And most important of all is that clock up there. Now, it's important because all of the ads are basically timed perfectly. So an ad needs to come on that's a minute 30 long, for example, and it needs to be ready to go. Then they need to get into the news. So there's quite a lot of intricacy involved. So all we do is watch that clock and make sure that we are done by the time we need to be done. Now, if you ever want to tune, I'm just going to grab a seat here. If you ever want to tune into our show, it's Monday nights at 9 p.m. Now, you can listen either on 2GB in Sydney, 3AW in Melbourne, or 4BC in Brisbane. Or you can tune in online if you go to any of those websites. You can also call up. 131873 is the number, and chat to Trent and I. What else is there? Yeah, we absolutely love doing the show, so always good to get calls, and there's always a great variety of callers as well. We find that board is always full when we're chatting cars. Often some kooky people there as well. So we are about to get started, so I need to leave here. But for the rest of the week, we're going to be having a look at the Melbourne CarAdvice office. That's where I'm based, and awesome place. I'll introduce you to the office and some of the team, and we'll also have a look at what's in the garage there. And yeah. Just hopped in the car to head to work. It's going to be a stinking 38 degrees today. I'm just keen to see what everyone thinks about driving shoes. What do you use? I've obviously got thongs on today because it's bloody hot and I'm Australian. So you can see down here that I am going barefoot, obviously, and keeping the thongs in the passenger footwell so they don't get in the way if I hit the brakes or anything. I want to know what your favourite driving shoes are. Leave it in the comments below or shoot me something on social media. Keen to see what everyone thinks. All right, we have made it to the CarAdvice office here in Melbourne. It is located in Cremorne, which is just inside Richmond. It's like the ACT of Richmond. Out the front here, we've got our Audi S1. So we do things a little differently at CarAdvice with our long-term loan cars. We get some of them from manufacturers, and they basically supply us the cars for a long period. But what we've started doing is actually buying cars. So what that gives you is the confidence that the car that we're testing is purchased by us. We've gone through the whole dealership process, and just like you would as a customer, because there's always questions raised whether cars are prepared when we get them as long-term loan cars, whereas there is no shadow of a doubt. We buy the car from a dealership, we go through all the processes, we get it serviced, and we give you honest feedback. So that is the big difference with CarAdvice. We try and make you guys first, the reader rather. So it's important to us to have that integrity, which is what we love. So this is our garage. It is a decent sized garage for Richmond. Richmond is known for its It's small, tight spaces. Most of the people are out today, so before we go upstairs, I thought I'd show you a few of the cars we've got here. So the Toyota RAV4 is one of our long-term loan cars. It's been with us for a little while. We've got the mighty 70 series Cruiser, but I want to quickly show you this thing over here. Now, looks like just a normal Hyundai Tucson, right? Well, this is a car that I helped build in the Czech Republic, and I can tell you how I know it's mine, because in the Czech Republic, when it was done, I stuck that sticker on it. So it's just recently arrived back in Australia, and basically we're going to be holding on to that car for a little while to see how it goes and whether it stays together, which I'm certain it will, because the manufacturing facility is amazing. So you'll be able to read a bit more about that at caradvice.com when my story goes live. So I'll run you through that when it does happen. Now, what's this thing? Let's have a look. It has one of these things, a key, no central locking. You've got to use that, and it's got one of these things as well, which is a manual winder for the window. And it's also got this as well, which is a manual mirror. So there's no electric adjustment here at all. And this car is still quite expensive for what it is. So we're going to have a closer look at this when we review it later in the week. But let's head upstairs. Actually, one more thing I want to show you. Some of our car chargers for electric cars. So we've got a Tesla one here, which plugs in for Tesla cars. And we've also got a BMW one. So one of our long-term cars is an i3. It is out at the moment, but it's great that we've got all the facilities here that we need to charge cars, which is kind of cool. Anyway, let's head upstairs. I'll intro you to some of the guys, and you can see what it's like working at CarAdvice. Welcome to the CarAdvice office. This is where all the magic happens here in Melbourne. We've got CarAdvice headquarters in Sydney, operations in Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth as well, but this is where all the cool people hang out. I thought we'd do a quick whip around. Mandy, hello. Mandy's our radio extraordinaire. Eagle's working on some video here. Use that term quite loosely. Steve-O, our newsman. Mate, oh, it's confidential. Toyota press release. Picture of someone's kid on his table. Maric selling things, pretending to be hard at work. Give us a wave. Scott's our marketing man on the phone there, very serious. And we've got our dev guys doing some stuff, pictures and things, changing logos, which is good. I thought we would have a quick look at the content from Detroit just to see what we've come up with and our drive over in Nashville. So outside of the news content that went live on the site, we had a couple of car reviews that we looked at in Nashville. So tracks went live today. You can see that on the site. We basically scheduled that to go live with the embargo. So the pictures aren't that great. Holden didn't really give us any images to run with, so we just took a few photos with our phone and the rest are press photos. But the other one that has garnered a lot of attention is this one here, the Astra sedan. So you can see that one's already got 70-ish comments when that counter updates. And basically we have video at the top there, so we host that video on our site on Bright Cove, and it also goes up on YouTube as well. Stack of images there as well, and a lot of comments, so people very, very interested in that one. Now, what's going on for the rest of the week? Well, we've got a podcast, so normally we'd record that out of the studio we were in last night, but that is being used for cricket, world's most boring sport, so we'll be recording the podcast here at the office instead, so I'll step you through that. We're also going to have a closer look at that Land Cruiser downstairs, so we're going to have a look at a review and how that review comes together, what we look at, and that will be our candidate. We're also going to shoot a video with that Tucson about how to run in a car. Now, there is something else coming, so, and I'll give you a sneak peek now. The 3 special edition Commodores are going to be released. The embargo lifts on Thursday afternoon. And if I open this, I'm just going to be careful here so I don't break the embargo. Just open this up a little bit. So here we go. We've got footage here of us at the track. So what you'll be able to do is check back on Thursday and you'll be able to hear these 3 special edition cars going around, which should be really good fun. So make sure you tune in for that. Right, so we're wrapping up today with some video editing. So getting all this video ready for the embargo lift of the Commodores, the 3 special editions that I mentioned on Thursday. So make sure you keep an eye on caradvice.com for all of that. Thanks for tuning in again. If you've got any feedback, would absolutely love to get it. Just leave it in the comments below. Ask any questions. Let me know what you want to see, if there's anything interesting you need to know. In the interim, you can catch me on social media, twitter.com/Paul Maric, instagram.com/Paul Maric for Instagram, and you can go to my website, paulmaric.com. So we've got a busy week this week. We're going to be shooting a car review with the Land Cruiser 70 series, and we've also got podcasts, plus I've got another radio show that I do, so I'll give you a sneak peek at that as well. But until next time, see you later.